Alright, welcome back. This is today a house building video. Um, so probably one of you will notice that in my matriarch series, there's this house that's next to the building, and it's sort of like this contemporary, maybe like modern house, that's just sort of there, but it's not finished, and it's very obvious that it's not finished because none of the yard work is done. Like you can see that there's no furniture inside, and so I decided, like, you know what, like, it's been sitting like right outside my front door for, like, you know, probably half a year now, and I was like, we got to get this over with. Like, it's been long enough. So originally what my idea was is that I'd build like a modern house, and the whole idea was that it was going to be like black and white. And so I started building it, but after I had got the general shape down, I pretty much lost motivation. So I hadn't touched it for a long time. And then when I came back to it, I was like, oh, like, let's actually make this sort of somewhat of a challenge. So I wanted to make an everything house for the base game. So that means that there's no like extra pack stuff, there's um, no CC stuff or anything like that. It's all just part of the base game, but it's also an everything house. So it means that there's all of the all of the activity stations, all of the hobbies that you can do in the base game. It's all there. It's all in this house, and that was sort of the challenge that I had given myself. So the other problem I had with this house is that I didn't know how to make the rooms. It seemed like an oddly shaped house, and I wasn't entirely sure how to make the rooms. So I decided, like, you just have to full send it. You just gotta do it. You just gotta figure it out. Divide the house up. I ended up making a one bedroom house, and that one bedroom is an ensuite. But not only is it an ensuite, it has two bathrooms and a gym connected to it. So we kind of went full out there. So really, it's only a house that's meant for like two people max. Even though there is like a jungle gym in the front yard for kids. So it's a little bit odd in certain places, but I really didn't know how to combat that without adding a basement. And then I didn't want to add a basement either. That was my other issue, is I didn't want a basement. Originally there was a basement, and I looked at it and I was like, I feel uninspired with this. Like, even though I felt uninspired with the house to begin with, like, I felt especially uninspired with the basement. So I just decided not to do it. Oh, and then there's this little Baby Yoda statue, and I was like, we gotta add it. We're gonna have like a little art room. The Baby Yoda needs to be in it. If there's an art room, we're gonna do a figure study of Baby Yoda, and that's that. Like, no one can tell me otherwise. And then we have our little front lawn developing here. So yeah, I didn't really plan on ever having like fences around this house, but in the end I decided, like, it's like I'd probably prefer having fences around it. It just adds that little element of privacy, which I really enjoyed. And so yeah, as you can tell, the house is really like black and white. There's a little bit of like dark brown, but it's mostly just like black and white. In some places even be like orange or like a bit of blue, but generally it's pretty consistent in its color scheme. And so yeah, I wanted to add like a wedding arch. As I said, like, I wanted to add everything that was from the base game. And originally when I had come back to this house, like, I noticed that the walls that I painted, they were from like I'm not sure, they were like from Seasons or something. So I was like, okay, we got to change that up. It kind of got rid of the color that I was looking for, because the walls that I had originally were really that type of wall that I was looking for. Like, it was that color, it was like creamy, dark brown, and I really liked it. But like, the walls that I have now are fine. It's just not exactly how I envisioned it. And also this, I had like a grill that was at the front, and that was from Perfect's patio stuff, and I thought, like, oh, we can't add that because it's from the stuff pack. So yeah, just adding like a few planter boxes. I was thinking, like, because there was no really way of accessing the backyard, and because there's a pool there, I was like, oh, that'd be a little weird if you have to go like around the house to access the backyard. So I decided in the end to put like a little archway there, and then like steps, and then Sims can get through like from the balcony, from the porch. Is it a porch if it still extends around the back? Anyways, so here we're adding the sort of basement level, I guess you can consider it. Even though it's not really a basement, it's not accessible to anyone, but I just wanted to add this little sort of like floral vegetation, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, this room in the basement. And this room just has like a bunch of bushes, and it's got like this llama topiary. And I think it's really cute, and especially how you add like the windows, and then any sim who like starts swimming in it, they can like, you know, you can look in and see all of this vegetation. There's like lots of light, so at night it's like very vibrant. So yeah. And then here is a little game table so that Sims can play cards. I don't think I've ever used that game table like ever, so I thought it like eventually I just thought it was like a regular table, so I tried putting like candles on it until I realized, oh, I probably shouldn't do that because it's actually supposed to serve a use and it's actually a game table. So yeah, but I'm not sure how much that would actually affect the cards playing game, because when I went in to like test everything out, the Sims just hold their cards, like they don't put their cards down at all. So I was like, okay. Then this side of the porch here, I was envisioning like a very big lounging area, but I quickly sort of disbanded that idea because I didn't really know how many couches would be suitable. Like, it is a two-person home, so I mean, in the end I did add a bunch of chairs, and there's a bunch of tables everywhere. By a bunch I mean two, so you know, a bunch of tables, and yeah, so there are chairs, so the house can accommodate to actually quite a few people if there's like a party. But like, as I said, it's like pretty much a two-person home. I mean, you could add an extra room, you could add a basement. Like, the stairs are 2 blocks wide, which means that you could shrink the stairs down to 1, and then you can add like an extra set of stairs that go down to a basement if you wanted to, and then you can add like more rooms down there. This is assuming that anyone downloads this house, which, I mean, my channel has a total of 0 active subscribers right now, so as I'm recording this, it's kind of unlikely anyone's watching this. But if you are watching this, you can definitely add, if you're willing to download this house, you can definitely add a basement level. There's definitely room for that, and then the basement level can even connect to the little shrubbery area that we just saw there that just passed by. And you can have like windows that look into the little vegetation room as well. That'd be pretty cool, and you could like look through the windows all the way into the pool. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be kind of neat. And then I turned on the show hidden objects, and I found these little lights, and I really liked them. They don't seem very strong at all. Like, they barely produce any light, so I decided to add even more lights, like wall lights. Here we go. And I barely ever use these wall lights in any of my builds, so I thought it was going to be like really nice to add, a good addition to the house, and especially because it's sort of that contemporary sort of style, that modern style look. I thought they were really good lights to use. So as you can see in the little menu down at the bottom, this is all the show hidden object stuff. So you just type in the cheat bb.show hidden objects on or true or something like that. It's either on or true, and then it just shows you this whole catalog of everything you can't get just through searching the regular catalogs for build by. And I was gonna say something else, but now I forgot. Oh, you see that there I have my fork. So I added a fork. You know, it's very pertinent to this whole house build. The fork was really a necessity, because you see, without a fork outside on the table, how do you expect your Sims to eat? You know, they can't. They have to use a fork. So I had to add a fork naturally. And then there's also that bush that's in the back there. I didn't notice when I put that in. Whoops. But that bush was supposed to be one of those bushes that your Sims can interact with. And then it was when it came to gameplay that I realized, oh, like you can't actually interact with that bush. But I mean, I didn't bother to change it. So if you want to change it, if you've got, because like in City Living, the bush comes in. What is it? I think the bush comes in. It's either City Living or Get Together. Oh, it's definitely Get Together. The bush that you can interact with. But I don't think the bush actually exists in the base game, so I couldn't actually add it, which is fine. It just means that it's just there. You can't interact with it yet. Like it's just decorative at this point. But if you do have those expansion packs that the bush is included in, then you can definitely add that bush, and it adds to that little sort of I can't think of the word right now. It adds that sort of element of risque or whatever you want to call it when your Sims are feeling in the mood. Or even if they don't want to use any of the 3 bathrooms in the house, you know, they can also use the bush, but not this one, because this one isn't interactable, if that makes sense. So I realized, no, I didn't realize anything. I just, haha, you got pranked. I didn't realize anything actually. Um, we're just continuing to build a house, and I didn't really know like should I include like cameras and stuff. So in the end, I just added a little camera like on the fire pit or whatever, wherever it is, somewhere near there. It's in the living room somewhere, or is it not? No, it's on the desk. Whoops, it's on the desk. I had a little camera on the desk because I wasn't sure if I should add it, and I was like, might as well. And then there are these little collectible frames, these little collectible pictures. They really add a good touch. Like I thought it was really fitting for this style of build that I had, and none of the other pictures were really working. And then here I was trying to figure out what I should do with this empty space in my bedroom because I really I had no clue. And then I eventually thought like I wanted to have that sort of L-shaped couch, but those don't exist in the Sims 4, so I kind of had to just use move objects and place the couch within the couch. And now I've got the L-shaped couch. It might glitch out a couple of times. Maybe your Sims can sit inside each other because one of them's sitting on one couch and the other one's sitting on the other couch, but they're both sitting in the same spot. Like maybe that's a possibility. I didn't actually test that out, but if you're willing to download this house, it is something that you could try out, and it is something that it could be a little funny just to mess around with. And then once again, I'm adding more like of those collectible picture frames because I think they're really nice. I've never actually gone through a gameplay, and oh, it's already over. Jesus, I've never actually. Let me just finish what I'm saying. I've never actually played through a game of The Sims and collected all of those frames. So these are all like, some of these I've never seen before, but I really like them. So anyways, as you can tell, this is the end of the house build, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are willing to download it, like feel free to. My username is Sapphire Soul with one F. So yeah, super neat. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, like, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to leave a like and a comment and maybe even subscribe, you know, like it wouldn't hurt, but like, I'm just here to have fun, and so should you. So see you guys later then. Bye.